The sound of shattering glass echoed through the empty room, a haunting reminder of what once was. Love, they say, is a fortress, but for me it had become a cathedral of glass, beautiful yet fragile. For 20 years I poured my soul into Julian, believing every whispered promise of a golden sunset in Andalusia. We spent our nights tracing the jagged coastlines of Spain on worn maps, our fingers intertwining as we planned an early retirement under the Mediterranean sun. I lived for that dream. It was the marrow in my bones, the very rhythm of my heart. I never imagined that the man holding the blueprint of our future would be the architect of my despair. But shadows began to stretch across our home, long and cold. Julian became a phantom, a hollow shell of the man I adored. He would return late, the scent of expensive gin and a foreign floral perfume clinging to his clothes like a shroud. When I tried to anchor him with a touch, he would recoil as if my skin were ice, his eyes glued to the frantic blinking of his phone. The S between us grew heavy, a suffocating veil that tasted of salt and dawning terror. I was drowning in our own house, gasping for the love that had once filled every corner. The discovery didn't come with a shout, but with a whisper of gold that pierced my soul. While pressing Julian's blazer, my fingers snagged on a small, hard object in the lining. I pulled out a gold-wrapped toothpick embossed with the shimmering logo of the Obsidian Suite, the city's most notorious den of luxury and secrets. I fell to my knees, the small sliver of wood feeling like a stake driven through my chest. My heart didn't just break, it hemorrhaged. Tears blurred my vision, hot and thick, as I realized the truth I had been too afraid to confront. Grief is a poison, but betrayal is a fuel. In the dead of night, while Julian slept the peaceful sleep of a liar, I became a vengeful specter. With trembling hands and a heart that felt like it was being squeezed by iron claws, I installed surveillance software on his devices. I watched the screen, my eyes burning, waiting for the monster to reveal itself. I wasn't a wife anymore. I was a surgeon, ready to cut out the cancer that had metastasized in my marriage, even if I bled out in the process. Then, the screen flickered with the ultimate desecration. I found the chat logs, a digital graveyard of our 20 years. "I can't wait to be in Marbella with you," he wrote to her. "She's just a ghost I live with. The money is almost all moved." My breath hitched in a ragged sob. He wasn't just leaving. He was stealing the future I had bled for, using our retirement savings to buy a villa for a woman half my age. Each word was a lash across my soul, a visceral reminder that my entire life had been a carefully constructed illusion. The evidence was a gallery of horrors. I found the photos hidden in a vaulted folder, images of them together in places we were supposed to go. I saw Julian, my Julian, holding her with a tenderness he hadn't shown me in years. He was leaning in, his eyes closed, lost in an intimate embrace with Elena. She was draped in a backless, curve-hugging evening dress, her hand resting provocatively on his chest. The sight of it felt like a physical blow to my stomach. The betrayal was a wound that would never fully heal. For my daughters, Sloane and Marin, I wore a mask of porcelain. I watched Sloane practice her violin, the mournful notes echoing the screaming in my head. I realized then that I wasn't just fighting for my own shattered heart. I was the last line of defense for my children. Julian would have left them with nothing, a father who traded his family for a shiny new toy in the sun. My love for them became a cold, sharpened blade. I would secure their future, even if it meant destroying the man I once called my husband. Revenge is a dish best served with meticulous accounting. While he flirted with Elena in the shadows, I spent my days in the cold light of law offices and bank vaults. I moved with the precision of a ghost, reclaiming the life he tried to siphon away. Every document signed was a nail in the coffin of our marriage. I was no longer the grieving wife. I was the architect of his downfall, ensuring that when the hammer fell, he would have no ground left to stand on. The reckoning came on a Sunday that felt like a funeral. I didn't scream, I didn't weep. I simply laid the thick stack of bank statements and printed chat logs on the coffee table. "I know about the villa, Julian," I said, my voice a hollow, haunting echo. "And I know about Elena." The look of pure, frozen terror on his face was the only thing that gave me a flicker of life. I told him the locks were changed, his accounts were frozen, and my lawyers were already at his employer's door. The collapse was total and devastating. Without his job, shunned by his family who saw the raw evidence of his cruelty, Julian became a broken man. I watched from the window as he packed a single suitcase, his shoulders slumped, his eyes vacant and rimmed with the red of 1,000 regrets. He had lost the mistress, the villa, and the daughters who now looked at him with nothing but cold pity. He was a king of nothing, wandering through the ruins of the life he had so carelessly dismantled. I'm in Spain now. I sit on a balcony in Marbella, the Mediterranean sun warming a skin that feels permanently chilled. I have the villa, I have the money, I have my freedom, but the victory tastes like ash in my mouth. I look at the horizon and see only the ghost of the man I loved. My heart is a battlefield of scars. Tell me, was my revenge justified? Is it possible to ever trust again, or is love just a beautiful lie we tell ourselves before the glass breaks?